Hello and welcome to AutoPower University. This CBT will cover recalling a customer's order after invoicing as well as the letter options. You can only recall an invoiced order from order entry within the same day of being invoiced. And there are prerequisite courses to this CBT. By now, you should have learned how to log in, how to navigate through menus, and the basics of order entry. If you haven't, please review those CBTs before proceeding. This CBT will be important to those individuals who create and invoice customer sales orders. One of your challenges in this area is to understand which editing and process actions are available after a customer's sales order has been invoiced. Our goal with this CBT is to provide you with a detailed understanding of what sales order data can be edited, along with the process letter options that accompany the recalling and modification of an invoice sales order. When a customer sales order has been invoiced, it can only be recalled from the order entry program within the same day of being invoiced. Once AutoPower's end-of-day process runs, the invoice order will no longer be accessible from order entry, but can be viewed or reprinted from the invoice history programs. To recall an invoice sales order from order entry, you can use the F1 recall function key to enter the customer's order number, the F2 search function key to search for the customer's account, or you can enter the customer's account number and locate the invoiced order on file to recall. An order that has been invoiced will have a status of C for completed. Invoice orders with a status of C will only be available to be recalled from order entry within the same day of being invoiced. Once the order is recalled, you will notice the invoice number at the top right of the screen. Although we are on the parts entry screen, the options listed at the bottom of the screen are the only actions available. When a customer's sales order has been invoiced, the parts entry screen can no longer be recalled for any editing nor modification. However, if the customer's sales order still has parts on back order, the parts entry screen will become available again for editing or modification once the end-of-day process has been run. Let's cover the options available in detail. N note is where you can enter an internal order note. These do not print. If an order note exists, a message will display at the bottom of the screen advising that order notes are present. R will allow you to reprint the sales invoice. Invoice reprint options can include print, fax, and email depending on your AutoPower system setup. The bill to customers fax and email will default, but can be overwritten. If you choose to print, you can define the number of copies to print. Here is where you would reprint an invoice order within the same day of being invoiced. After the end of day is processed, then you would reprint an invoice from the Reprint Invoice from History program. P allows you to print a packing slip for the parts on the customer's order. You will be asked how many packing slips to print. Y is for year, make, and model. Here you can enter vehicle year, make, and model information relevant to this customer's sales order. If a vehicle's year, make, and model information exists, a message will display at the bottom of the screen advising that vehicle year, make, model are present. E will exit you out of the customer's order and bring you back to the order entry lookup screen. T, totals, will bring you to the order totals review screen. We will enter option T and then press enter. We are now at the order totals review screen, which provides a synopsis of the invoice order data for easy review. You will be prompted to confirm whether or not you want to access the totals and option screens. The system will default to N for no, but if you need to make any changes to the data available from the totals or option screen, simply enter Y to continue. If you enter Y for yes, as we have done in this example, you must reprint the invoice from the option screen in order to exit the order. This is required to ensure that any modifications made to the customer's order from the totals or option screens gets properly updated to the history files during the end-of-day process. Now we're at the total screen. Be advised that once you access the total screen, sales tax is recalculated. If the customer is taxable, the user will be prompted whether the sales order is a counter pickup or a delivery. If counter pickup is selected, the sales tax will be calculated based on the sales tax assigned to your branch location. If delivery is selected, the sales tax will be calculated based on the sales tax assigned to the ship-to account. The system will default to the original tax selection that was entered when the order was invoiced. If the sales tax amount was manually entered, it will need to be re-entered. This selection is important to ensure your company is charging the correct sales tax amount. You will then be prompted to enter an option number if one or more of the data fields available on the total screen needs to be modified. The fields available for modification are at management's discretion, so all fields may not be available on your AutoPower system. Any modifications to data fields on the total screen will directly affect the customer's order total. Once complete, press Enter to continue to the Options screen. We are now at the Order Entry Options screen. The cursor is positioned at the Option field, allowing the user to enter a numeric field, function key, or letter option. All numeric fields and function keys are available for modification. Any modifications completed on the Options screen will directly affect the customer's sales order. The letter options shown are the only action processes available once a sales order has been invoiced. Letter option Y will reprint the customer's invoice. Remember, once the Totals and Options screen has been accessed, you must reprint the invoice in order to exit the order. This is required to ensure that any modifications made to the customer's order from the Totals or Options screens gets properly updated to the history files during the end-of-day process. Don't forget to provide your customer with an updated invoice copy, along with an updated Office copy for your company. Option T, Totals, will bring you back to the Total screen if you need to make any changes to incoming or outgoing freight, sales tax, or the order discount amount. Any changes made on the Total screen will directly affect the customer's invoice total. Option I, Issue PO, creates a purchase order for the part numbers that were added to the sales order using Parts Entry Option Q for special ordered parts. This option is based on management's decision if purchase orders should be issued from the counter, and this is covered in detail in the Order Entry Option Q Special Ordered Parts CBT. Option V, View Notes, will allow the counterman to view any customer notes that have been entered for this customer. This customer has an order entry note. These Type O notes are entered in the Customer Notes Entry program. This is the same Customer Notes screen that you see when you first enter this customer's account number in order entry if the customer has notes available. Our goal with this CBT was to provide you with a detailed understanding of what sales order data can be edited along with the process letter options that accompany the recalling and modification of an invoice sales order. Please take a few moments to review the points highlighted on this slide before exiting. Thank you for your time.